Hey everybody, it's great to be sharing with you again. We're on church online, but hopefully we won't be too long before we're in person. Something I wanted to share with you today is a challenge that I'm doing for myself in 2022. It's something that I faced a few years ago and I put a lot of work into, and then as you know, things in life happen, and those times when the rug gets pulled from under you and everything good that you've been working on or committing to or doing those hard efforts, it just sort of fell by the wayside, and I kind of lost the effort and control and drive to commit to the thing that I was facing. And so we've had COVID, and you've all went through your own challenges, so I've come through that too. And I suppose my realisation was that we face so many things. I face so many things, stuff that happens to you, things in your external life that you just have to get through. And I've worked through a lot of things. I faced a lot of challenges. I've been patient. I've done, all those things that we say and share and encourage each other to do. And I feel like at the minute in life, I'm at a good place, that I've worked hard to be in, and that's great. But there was one area that I wasn't really satisfied in, and it was okay. And I think because it was okay, I was fine to, let it kind of just continue the way it was. But I just thought, if that one thing was changed, that I know that I would feel different. And I'd have a different sense of satisfaction, but I know what it takes to change that. And so this year is something I've decided to change. And so what I decided to do, so it's about, losing weight and things. And I always share about stuff like that. And anybody who knows me, those things aren't a shock. But what I decided to do was, instead of having an expectation of what things could be like and joining clubs and doing things like that, I just thought, I'm just going to take every day and make a decision for today that is going to take me closer to a goal. And when I think about goals, I suppose in the past I've had expectations about when I join, a slimming club or whatever, or when I've had a decision, right, that's it, I'm going to go on a diet. I have this expectation that things will change, and you maybe understand what that's like, when you enter a new relationship, or you get a new house or a car or something that you put an effort into and you've really saved towards. You have this expectation about what that's going to be like, and then after about a week or two, that's not really what it is. It's, your life carries on as ordinarily as it was, and we get disappointed that our expectations haven't been met. And sometimes we put that on other people because we think like, oh, this is not the life I thought it was going to be. It's just okay. And often, I suppose what I've learned is that those expectations are based around other people or external factors being different, and us not doing anything to change those. We think about what life could be like, and we think that, when I get married, life will be this, this and this, or when I get the new house, or when I get a job, or when this season of difficulty is past, then everything will be different. And we have an expectation built up in our heads. And so what I've learned to do is, instead of expectations, is to have a goal. So then that puts the onus onto me, to do the change, or to create that, or to put the effort in, or, whatever it will take for the goal to become a reality. And so that's what I've done with myself for this year. I've given myself a goal, and not of a set amount of, weight I want to lose or size I want to be, but that I am unhappy with how I look, and I'm unhappy with the amount of unhealthy choices that I've been making, and that makes me uncomfortable in my body and all that sort of thing. So I'm not giving you a full therapy session here, but so I decided I'm just going to face the hard choices, and I'm going to do the difficult things, because instead of having an expectation about what the end of the year might look like, I'm giving myself a goal to change myself. And so every day I have to make a choice about that day. And then that means as well that there's days where it doesn't go as well. It's only one day, because tomorrow I'm going to have to choose it all over again. And I'm sharing that with you. I was actually didn't really intend to share that with people in this sort of context, but here we are. I needed an example to give you life to my talk today. And I'm thinking about, those Bible verses, and there's so many of them that are great, that talk about choosing this day. Especially in the Old Testament, God gives the children of Israel so many challenges. You can choose blessings or curses. I've set these challenges before you, I've set these things before you, and you need to choose who you'll serve, choose what this day will be, life or death. And you can read all those stories, and they're usually preceding a big battle or a direction, or something that God is leading them into. And you can read those through yourself. If you do a Bible search, there's like over 200 of them, at least. So and the ones that I was thinking about suppose a lot this morning. I've not been well, you can hear I'm a bit croaky, you know, it's this time of year. And I wasn't going to go to the gym today. And, well, I know I was going to go to the gym today. I shouldn't say that. It would have been easy for me to not go, and because I've not been feeling well my first day back, and I was so tired and all that sort of stuff. And I went anyway, because that's my decision. That's how I'm getting there. I'm just like, go anyway. I mean, it's 1 hour, go anyway, you know. You'll be a step closer to where you want to be if you just go. So that's how I'm getting myself there, which is great. But when I was there today, I was thinking of that Bible verse. It's in Joshua 24 verse 15, and it says, choose this day who you'll serve. Now, in context, there's a whole other story going on there, but that was running through my head, and I thought, you know, that's really similar to how I am getting myself to my goal, is that every day I'm choosing who I'll serve, or what I'll serve, or what the outcome, you know, could be. I'm having to make a choice every single day, and that's really, really hard. And you know, I know at the minute, like life is hard for so many people. You know, the cost of living is going up. For us in our church, we're still online, and that's really difficult. Getting ourselves through this next part of the year. Kids are being sent home to learn at home. I've got Katie in the other room, you know, home learning on Netflix. Today, Jude's been off sick for over a week. Back to school today, but you know, and I know we're not the only family that are going through those sort of times. Loads of families, loads of couples, loads of people on their own. You know, life feels very difficult, and I think it feels quite heavy. And I know last month I shared about Blue Monday, and you know, making choices about what the day will look like. But you know, it continues to strike me that we have to make those choices every day, and instead of facing the disappointment about what life isn't, you know, and what we thought life would be like, that if we just get up every morning and choose this day, what way will it go forward for me? What can I do today to get me to where I want to be? Will I face the fears? Will I face the challenges? Will I do it as easy? And every single day could be a different thing for you. But instead of just living in that continual disappointment about what life hasn't become, or living in that continual fear about what life could be, in Romans 8:38 it says, neither our fears for today or our worries about tomorrow can separate us from God's love. And there's a whole list of things in that verse that it talks about, you know, things that can and can't separate us from God's love, and it talks about all the things that can't. But it says our fears for today, our worries for tomorrow, so we know they're going to be there. You know, I could lie awake all night thinking about what's going on, you know, just silly, small, incidental things, you know, in life that you could do the same thing. You could stay awake all night thinking about, what about this? What about that? What if that thing happens? Or what if this person does that thing or doesn't do that thing? And those are easy to find. I'm sure we don't need to sit for 2 seconds to think about things to worry about and concern ourselves with. But that stuff, it just takes up so much space in our head. And I know, because I'm the exact same, I know that, you know, like I can go to bed at night with things in my head and wake up the next day and they're still there, and I might not be stressfully trying to work it out, but they're there and they're heavy and they just take up so much of our energy. And so then what we've done is we've somehow chosen that that's the way this day will go. That's the biggest thing that we're going to carry around with us today, and we miss the opportunity, we miss the chance for growth, we miss the chance for joy. We're so concentrating on just giving that stuff our energy, and I mean our literal physical energy, you know, that those things tire us out. And at the end of the day, we're going to be tired anyway. So we can be tired carrying around things that we can't change, the worries, the fears, the concerns, the what ifs, the uncertainties, the stressful planning, or we could be carrying around, you know, the weight or the burden. I don't know if that's the right word. I should have maybe thought about this word in advance. We could be carrying around the task of making different choices today. So like today I thought, I'm going to the gym, that's going to be, so that was the task, that was the difficulty that I was weighing up this morning. So I did that one thing, and then when it comes to lunchtime, I'm going to make another choice. And then when it comes to the mid-afternoon, when I'm tired and I want a cup of coffee with a big chocolate bar, I'm going to make another choice. You know, so I can spend my energy and my time that way throughout the day. And so you have to think of your own, you know, your own life, your own examples, and things like weight loss and diet are something that are easy for me to talk about because they're present, but they're really difficult for me to do, and I don't use them as a frivolous example. So for you, it could be the difficult relationship in your life. You have to choose every single encounter what that's going to be like. It could be what's going on in your own head and your own mind, with your own stress, you know, with whatever situation it is that you're going through, with health, with work, with family, with money. You know, I don't want to list all the stuff. You know what your own thing is. but it's the choice every moment to bring some life into it, bring some influence to it, bring some change to it, or bury your head about it, or give reasons why you can't, give reasons why it's too difficult. I don't, want to come across as a harsh person, but things are difficult, life is hard, but we got to choose to face the challenge if we want to see the thing change. And so that's why I use my example to start and share that bit, with you about my 2022 challenge, because I'm going to do it for a year. And I just thought, like, what if I did this for a year? What if I faced this for a year? What if I confronted myself every day, whatever, how many times a day for a year, and let's see what would happen. And so, for example, like, I went to a step class last week, and it wasn't what I thought it was going to be. It was horrendous. It was hit step, and some of you might know the difference that means. It's really intense, and it wasn't what I was expecting, and I found it really, really hard. And I looked at myself in a mirror in a studio the whole time doing it and just thought, oh my goodness, so I had tons of reasons to not go back the next week, but I just thought, I have a few reasons to go back. And if I did a list versus the small reasons to go back and the long list of reasons to not go, it was easy to look at. Like, I had loads of reasons why, I shouldn't go back, or it would be better for me not to go back. But I just kept thinking about, I have a few reasons to go back, and the benefit of those far outweighs the small relief about not going next week, and I'll be in a better place if I go. And if I make that choice every week for 45 more weeks, or whatever, like the time, many weeks, this time next year I'll say to myself, I'm really glad I made that choice, because look where I am now, because I made that choice last year. And so I got to make that choice this year. I got to make that choice every day, and you do too. Whatever your thing is, whatever your challenge is, whatever your frustration is, whatever your concern is or your difficulty is, you got to make that choice, and you've got to make it every day. You can't just make it one day. And if there's a day where you don't make it, or something happens, like I was sick last week, so I couldn't keep making those choices. But when I started to feel better, it was easy for me to do that. That thing you do when you haven't eaten for a day or two because you've not been well, and then you start to get your appetite back and you think, oh, what could I have? So in that moment I had to choose to not overdo it, because I could have, I'd not eaten for a couple of days. I probably was going to lose weight because I hadn't eaten for a couple of days, and still could have overeaten on the day I felt better. But I just chose not to, because I thought, I have a goal for this week, and this week is to lose a pound. Next week I'll have the same goal, to lose a pound. Anyway, I don't want to go into loads and loads of that type of detail. You have to figure out your own thing, and you have to make those choices for you. In Matthew 6, it talks about, don't worry about tomorrow, it brings its own worries. Today's trouble is enough for today. And I don't think I need to tell you that today's trouble is enough for today, and that you've got your own worries. And I don't want to place loads and loads of emphasis on worries and fears and concerns, because we are aware of their presence. But if we want them to be different, they'll be different because of the choices we make today. And so it's with the challenge I want to give to you is, what one thing could you do? Think about that thing that's weighing on your mind. Think about that thing. And you might not have the full control of the situation to make that complete change. So it could be that you need to make a phone call. It could be that you need to talk to somebody. It could be that you need to sit with someone else and figure out a plan together. But there's one thing that you can do, and think really hard about that one thing that might be difficult, and do the one thing. And then when you've done the one thing, think about, okay, what's the next thing I could do? Because now I'm a step closer. So what would take me another step closer? And there's loads of encouragement in the Bible about those things. I think especially about that passage in Matthew 6 where it talks about seeking first the kingdom of God. And the kingdom of God is all about, our freedom from our old life, our freedom and what Jesus brings us, the new way of living and a new outlook and a new purpose for our lives. So there's loads of encouragement, and if anybody wants to chat about that stuff, come and chat to me about it, because I've lost 4 pounds for it. But if I can lose 4 pounds in a few weeks, then you can do your thing, because that's really difficult for me, and I don't want to make light of it, but you can do your thing. But give me a shout for a cup of coffee or a chat, if you want that encouragement, because I know what that's like, and I know the 2 or 3 years preceding me facing this, what brought me to this challenge, and they were way more difficult than losing weight. Life circumstances have been really hard, and I thought, I faced those and they weren't my choice, so what can I choose to face that will take me to where I want to be? So that's why I wanted to share that with you today. And just that I find the benefit of choosing one day and surprise, surprise, the Bible is full of encouragement and stories and verses and passages, and even the sort of poetry language of some of the verses in the Bible are so, they really hit home. So I'd love to share that with you and be thinking about you in your own journey. And even in our church journey, we have learned to take one day at a time, getting our new building open, and we feel like we're so close. And I think about, if we hadn't made that decision way last year, the team hadn't got together and said to James, okay, let's do it. If James hadn't come and said this is mad, but shall we do? And I know he was saying to us the other day, kind of expected at least one of us to go, not really sure, but every single person said, yeah, let's do this. It's mad, but let's do it. If we hadn't done that last year, we wouldn't be at this point of having a building, that is almost ready to open. So I can testify to that in so many ways. I'm sure you can too when you start to think of examples, but so it is. I just wanted to encourage you with that, and know that you're not on your own with those challenges as well, that loads of us are facing, many internal things that we don't, talk about loads in front of other people, but if you want to get together, or just know that there's people that want to get together with you, they're thinking about you, they're with you, they truly get what you're going through, and you're not alone. So thank you, and I really, really hope that one of my next talks with you will be in person.